Hey, 49ers fans. Today we are diving deep into all the latest roster news and moves that are shaking up San Francisco's squad. The initial cut-down day has arrived, and while it's just the first step toward finalizing the 53-man roster, there's already so much drama, so many surprises, and so many key decisions that have fans talking. From starters getting released to some unexpected shifts in special teams. The 49ers are making strategic choices that will impact the team for weeks to come. It's the kind of day where every move matters, and understanding the why behind each decision gives us a real glimpse into how the coaching staff is thinking about the season ahead. Let's start with some of the more shocking cuts. Thomas Morstead, the team's veteran punter, was one of the big names dropped during the initial round of cuts. Now, this wasn't because the team doesn't value him. Far from it. Morstead is in his late 30s, a mature, seasoned player who knows the ins and outs of the business side of football. Reports suggest that his release is temporary, more about roster flexibility than any doubts about his abilities. The 49ers needed to create space for maneuvering, and Morstead is someone they trust will be back once the roster settles. It's a move that highlights the delicate balancing act teams have to perform between maintaining talent and staying compliant with league roster rules. Then you have Curtis Robinson, another name that grabbed attention. He has been on a trajectory that suggested he could have started on multiple teams, and his absence from the roster initially left a lot of fans scratching their heads. But here's the thing. The 49ers are fully aware of his value, especially on special teams. Last season, before his injury, he was a standout performer, and his skill set in that phase of the game cannot be overlooked. The expectation is that Robinson will return, likely through the practice squad, allowing the team to manage immediate roster needs while ensuring that they don't lose a player who can make a significant impact once activated. Special teams saw more movement than perhaps any other unit. Players like Chaz Surratt and Curtis Robinson being cut, along with a handful of other key contributors, is setting the stage for a flurry of activity in the next 24 to 36 hours. It's common to see other teams swoop and to claim talent released during cut-down day, and with the caliber of players leaving, there will be no shortage of interest. For the 49ers, these moves are part of a broader strategy, balancing the need to protect offensive and defensive line depth while maintaining flexibility to bring in veteran talent, particularly at wide receiver. Speaking of wide receivers, the team made several surprising decisions there too. Names like Russell Gage, Malik Turner, Junior Bergen, and others were released despite some of them having clear potential or past starting experience. These moves might look alarming at first, but when you consider the team's broader roster strategy, it makes sense. The 49ers are playing the long game, keeping options open, and potentially bringing in veteran wideouts who can contribute immediately, adding experience to a group that is otherwise relatively young and still developing chemistry. The cut-down also highlighted some intriguing roster math. The team is clearly prioritizing depth at critical positions, particularly the offensive and defensive lines. Players like Drew Moss were retained despite pressures to trim the roster because losing them could have created vulnerabilities elsewhere. It's a balancing act that shows the coaching staff's focus on protecting the most pivotal parts of the team while still adhering to league requirements. In many ways, the initial 53-man roster is less about who is gone and more about who they absolutely cannot afford to lose, and seeing which players were retained provides insight into who is considered indispensable. Some of the most interesting moves involve those on the fringes of the roster, players who might not have a guaranteed spot but bring specialized skills that could be leveraged later. Braden Willis is a good example. There were expectations that the 49ers might hold 4 tight ends, but ultimately only 3 made it. This opens up potential practice squad opportunities or future activations, allowing the team to maintain flexibility while keeping options open for injury contingencies or strategic adjustments once the season begins. Among the linebackers, Luke Ford emerged as a standout, earning a spot due to his special teams acumen. Tatum Thune also impressed during preseason and training camp, earning recognition and a roster spot. These selections reinforce the importance of versatility and special teams' excellence in the team's overall strategy. Players who can contribute in multiple ways increase their value and create room for the team to maneuver elsewhere. Wide receiver depth remains an area of focus. With only 5 wideouts retained on the initial roster instead of the usual 6, the 49ers are clearly signaling an intention to add a veteran presence, someone who can step in and immediately impact the passing game. The releases of players like Tariq Owens, Junior Bergen, Russell Gage, and Malik Turner might look drastic, but they appear to be part of a calculated plan. By trimming certain positions and freeing up roster space, the team can target experienced wideouts who bring both reliability and leadership, something that is especially valuable for a unit that has been in flux. The defensive line received a boost with the activation of YGM, who is expected to be available for Week 1 and play a significant role on this young unit. Versatile players like him are critical for the 49ers' defensive strategy, providing depth, flexibility, and the ability to rotate in various packages. Under the guidance of the coaching staff, these versatile linemen are poised to elevate their play and make meaningful contributions, particularly in schemes that demand adaptability and athleticism. Specialist positions, while limited in initial cuts, will also see adjustments. The temporary absence of Morstead doesn't signal a permanent change. Rather, it underscores the complexity of managing specialists within the roster rules. The 49ers' ability to navigate these nuances speaks to their meticulous planning and their emphasis on ensuring that every position is adequately staffed for both the immediate and long-term needs of the team. Other roster notes include Connor Kobe making the squad with no surprises, while players like Jacob Cowing face injury considerations that could move them to IR. Jacob Robinson, meanwhile, is projected to take a redshirt year due to a broken forearm, giving him another shot to compete for a cornerback spot next season. These moves highlight the team's forward-looking approach, balancing immediate competitiveness with long-term development. The ongoing narrative is clear. The 49ers are methodically optimizing their roster. Every cut, every retention, and every move is part of a calculated approach designed to maximize flexibility, protect critical positions, and maintain depth where it matters most. While fans may feel shock or concern over some of the initial releases, it is evident that these decisions are grounded in strategy rather than panic. The real story will continue to unfold over the next few days as additional transactions, signings, and roster adjustments are made. Continuing with the 49ers roster breakdown, let's shift our focus to the wide receiver room and the tight end group, which have been major talking points in the wake of cutdown day. The wide receiver situation, in particular, is fascinating because the team opted to retain only 5 players instead of the traditional 6, immediately signaling that there is a larger plan in motion. This move might seem risky at first glance, especially with names like Russell Gage, Malik Turner, Tariq Owens, and Junior Bergen being released, but when you dig into the logic, it starts to make sense. The 49ers are clearly creating roster flexibility to pursue a veteran presence, someone with experience, someone who can contribute immediately and provide stability for a group that is otherwise still developing chemistry. The decision to release multiple wide receivers also opens up opportunities for practice squad placements, strategic signings, and perhaps even a surprise veteran acquisition. Amari Cooper's name has surfaced as a player of interest, and although nothing is finalized, the team's prior discussions indicate that they are actively exploring options. This approach demonstrates the front office's understanding that developing young talent is essential, but having a seasoned, reliable target on the outside can make a huge difference in critical moments. The balance between youth and experience is a delicate one, and the 49ers are clearly willing to make tough decisions to strike it correctly. Jordan Watkins and Sky Moore are among the retained young receivers, though there are caveats. Watkins, for instance, won't be ready immediately, which is something the coaching staff has factored into their broader plan. Sky Moore, on the other hand, is expected to contribute, though the depth chart remains dynamic and subject to adjustments over the coming weeks. Jacob Cowing is another interesting case. Despite making the initial roster, his hamstring injury positions him as a potential IR candidate. The team is managing these situations carefully, ensuring they maintain enough flexibility to maximize roster efficiency while protecting talent for the long term. Turning to tight ends, the 49ers opted to take 3 rather than 4, which is a slight deviation from previous years. This decision again points to roster prioritization, as the team chose to allocate spots elsewhere, particularly along the offensive and defensive lines, which are always high-value positions in roster management. Braden Willis, while initially cut, remains a player the team likely hopes to retain through practice squad mechanisms. Tight ends are often pivotal not just in offensive schemes, but also in special teams and situational packages. So even minor shifts in this group can have larger implications on game day strategy. On the defensive side, the activation of YGM from PUP is a significant development. This young defensive lineman is expected to play an impactful role in Week 1, providing versatility and athleticism that the coaching staff can deploy in multiple scenarios. Players like YGM illustrate the 49ers' emphasis on adaptable talent. The ability to rotate linemen effectively, mix schemes, and exploit matchups is critical, and having versatile players ready to step into prominent roles early in the season strengthens the team considerably. The defensive line depth, combined with careful management of key personnel, underscores the team's commitment to protecting against injuries while also maintaining flexibility in game day rotations. Looking further at linebackers, Luke Ford's inclusion is notable because it highlights the 49ers' continued reliance on special teams excellence. Ford has proven himself in preseason action, and his ability to contribute in multiple phases of the game increases his value. Tatum Thun, similarly, impressed during camp and earns a nod due to his strong performance and versatility. These selections speak to a broader philosophy. Players who can contribute in more than one area, who can step in seamlessly when injuries or adjustments are necessary, are extremely valuable on a roster that is constantly evolving. Special teams, of course, remain a critical focus. The temporary release of Morstead, as mentioned earlier, is a textbook example of roster maneuvering that prioritizes long-term stability while temporarily creating space. Having a reliable punter, kicker, and return specialist is non-negotiable, and the team's approach ensures that every position is accounted for, even if the moves may appear confusing at first glance. In a league where the margin between victory and defeat can be razor-thin, special teams management can be the difference between winning a critical game or coming up short. The 49ers' strategy demonstrates a keen awareness of this reality. Another layer of complexity involves player injuries and developmental timelines. Jacob Robinson's broken forearm effectively sidelines him for the season, giving him a redshirt year and the chance to compete next year for a cornerback spot. This is significant because it allows both the player and the team to plan for the future without rushing recovery. Similarly, Jacob Cowing's hamstring situation, while temporarily limiting his availability, is managed in a way that preserves the team's options. These types of decisions are emblematic of a front office and coaching staff that thinks several steps ahead, balancing immediate competitiveness with long-term development. The quarterback situation also deserves attention, though it is less volatile than other positions. With only 2 quarterbacks retained initially, the team is leveraging new practice squad rules that allow for the activation of a 3rd quarterback if necessary. This ensures that the 49ers can maintain depth at the position without dedicating a permanent roster spot prematurely. It's another example of roster optimization and strategic planning, reflecting the careful, forward-thinking approach that has characterized the team's off-season moves. Offensive line depth remains a top priority, and it's clear in the retention of key linemen like Drew Moss and Connor Kobe. The team understands the critical importance of protecting their quarterback and creating opportunities in the running game. Even minor adjustments to the offensive line can have cascading effects on offensive efficiency, so keeping a full complement of talented linemen is essential. The decisions made during cutdown day reflect this focus, emphasizing both protection and the ability to maintain flexibility for in-season adjustments. As the final roster begins to take shape, the excitement builds. Veteran acquisitions, practice squad placements, and future developmental moves will continue to evolve over the coming days. The 49ers are clearly playing a long game, and understanding the context of each decision gives fans insight into how the team plans to compete at the highest level. From offense to defense, from specialists to young talent, every move is carefully calibrated to maintain competitiveness, flexibility, and readiness for the season ahead. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Exploding into the rumor mill like wildfire, the NFL world is buzzing after the shocking news that Jonathan Allen has reportedly agreed to terms with the San Francisco 49ers, sending shockwaves through both fans and analysts alike. Allen, known for his relentless pass-rushing skills and commanding presence on the defensive line, seems poised to transform the 49ers' already formidable front into something nearly unstoppable. Sources close to the situation suggest that the discussions were intense, with multiple franchises expressing interest, but the allure of joining a defense known for its strategic brilliance and championship pedigree appears to have sealed the deal. The move immediately raises speculation about how head coach Kyle Shanahan and defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans will integrate Allen into a system that already features stars like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, potentially creating a nightmare scenario for opposing quarterbacks across the league. Observers are already dissecting how this signing impacts the NFC West dynamics, wondering whether the addition of Allen could cement San Francisco as the defensive juggernaut capable of making a deep playoff run. Rumors also swirl regarding the financial structure of the contract, with insiders hinting at performance incentives and guaranteed money that reflect the high stakes and the team's clear intention to dominate defensively in the coming seasons, leaving fans in anticipation of official confirmation. The chatter extends beyond just the field, as Allen's potential arrival sparks conversations about leadership, locker room chemistry, and the broader culture within the 49ers organization. Known for his intense work ethic and professional approach to preparation, Allen is expected to bring a sense of discipline and tenacity that complements the existing ethos of the team. Analysts are already speculating how his presence could impact rookie development, veteran performances, and the team's approach to game-day defensive schemes. The rumor mill suggests that defensive practices could become even more competitive, with players pushing each other to higher levels of performance under Allen's influence. Media insiders are reporting that interviews with former teammates and coaches indicate that Allen thrives in high-pressure environments, which could be crucial for playoff scenarios where every yard and every quarterback pressure counts. Fans have taken to social media, creating memes, animated GIFs, and speculative lineups that incorporate Allen's hypothetical impact, which has fueled excitement and discussion across online forums. The potential synergy with existing stars is a recurring theme, with analysts pondering whether Allen's skill set could perfectly complement the 49ers' blitz packages and gap control schemes, raising the possibility of record-breaking defensive statistics if everything aligns as rumored. Speculation also touches on the broader ripple effect across the league, as rival franchises may scramble to adjust their offseason strategies in response to San Francisco's bold move. Questions are emerging about whether other NFC West teams, like the Seattle Seahawks or Los Angeles Rams, will pursue aggressive free agent acquisitions or make trades to counteract the perceived strengthening of the 49ers defense. Pundits are debating how Allen's signing might influence the market for elite defensive tackles and edge rushers, as teams try to match the rumored intensity and financial commitment the 49ers appear willing to make. Insider whispers suggest that Allen's decision could shift the bargaining power in upcoming negotiations, especially for players with similar skill sets seeking contracts that reflect both their performance and their potential to transform a franchise. Additionally, sports analysts are already projecting hypothetical scenarios where Allen, Bosa, and other defensive stalwarts create a front so dominant that even high-powered offenses could struggle to gain traction, intensifying playoff matchups and heightening media coverage. The rumor further fuels discussions about how Allen might be used in hybrid roles, whether as a traditional defensive tackle or in creative alignments that exploit his versatility, hinting at strategic surprises that could catch opponents off guard and redefine defensive strategy for the 49ers. From the fans' perspective, the buzz surrounding Jonathan Allen joining the 49ers is nothing short of electric, with discussions ranging from fantasy football implications to jersey sales and team morale. Supporters are envisioning a defense that can dictate games, dominate the trenches, and provide a psychological edge even before the first snap of a matchup. The rumor has ignited spirited debates in fan communities, where theories about Allen's immediate impact on team dynamics and game outcomes abound. Speculative analyses suggest that the synergy between Allen and the coaching staff could lead to innovative defensive play calling that emphasizes aggression, unpredictability, and adaptability, potentially transforming the 49ers into a nightmare matchup for offensive coordinators. Social media threads are buzzing with mock schedules, predicted stats, and highlight reels of Allen's career-defining plays, creating a collective excitement that mirrors the intensity of actual game day anticipation. Meanwhile, the rumor serves as a lens for examining broader questions about the team's long-term strategy, including how this potential acquisition fits into their championship aspirations, draft priorities, and salary cap management, all of which add layers of intrigue to the unfolding narrative. As the story continues to circulate, NFL insiders suggest that the Jonathan Allen to 49er scenario could mark the beginning of a highly transformative period for the franchise, setting expectations for defensive dominance that ripple through the league. Analysts are hypothesizing about the potential for Allen to mentor younger players, enhance situational awareness, and influence game day decision-making in ways that extend beyond measurable statistics. The rumor has already sparked discussions on talk shows, podcasts, and analytical blogs, each interpreting the possible implications differently, ranging from tactical innovations to cultural shifts within a locker room. Financial experts and sports media are also dissecting the rumored contract structure, considering how it balances immediate performance incentives with long-term security, signaling the 49ers' intention to invest strategically in talent capable of altering competitive landscapes. The narrative surrounding Allen's potential arrival is evolving rapidly, with each leak and insider tip adding layers of anticipation, speculation, and strategic posturing that captivate fans and pundits alike. Should this rumor prove true, the 49ers could very well be on the verge of assembling a defensive powerhouse that redefines expectations, energizes a fan base, and triggers a domino effect of competitive maneuvers across the entire NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.